That's something we'll look into that. That's not our signs or any of our poles,
No,
so that's something
he
with
had
property.
He
Okay.
had it the property lines, and I
Mhm.
have no problem.
Okay.
There's a pin in the ground, I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem with is a pole like that sticking up for somebody to land on. So I'm asking Borough Council to look into that as well.
Jean, your address again, or the rental address?
My address is 1318 Atlas Lane.
No.
The property in
properties.
question is 817 and 819 Lincoln Avenue.
Thank you.
I realize as people get older, things change. That's why, rather than get in a tussle with somebody, it's better to bring it to council's attention and have something directly come from you.
Ms. Gross will have, I'm sure these gentlemen has check into it.
I appreciate that. Thank you, President.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Ryan Werkheiser. I live on Jeffrey Lane in Northampton Borough. Me and a few of my neighbors were here back in February to address the shooting range behind our house and finding bullets throughout the neighborhood. I'm here to share that it doesn't seem that anything has really changed. Since then, we've had over a dozen reports of bullets that have been found. We have notified the police again. We had a situation where we had a neighbor sitting on their back porch, hit a bullet, or heard the bullet hit either his upper deck or his neighbor's upper deck, slide across a patio. He located the bullet, called the borough police. They came over. One went straight to the shooting range, located or found an individual there, got their information, and afterwards we had spoken to the vice president, I believe he is, of Triborough, and we're finding that the police are not informing them of these situations, which was part of what we talked about when we were here back in February. It was basically just having clear communication between ourselves, the police, Triborough, trying to rectify the situation, try to figure out what we can do. We're running out of options, I feel. I mean, it's not stopping. Like I said, over a dozen since we were last here trying to address this. And police have come, police have taken the bullets, but we're finding that the communication is not happening with Triborough unless we're reaching out. But our talks were, we find out from, what time frame they talk to Triborough. Triborough will give, the list of who's been shooting at the range at that time, and they would move on from there. But I don't know what the hiccup is in communication from the police and Triborough. I don't know why this isn't being rectified. We've reached out to state representatives. We've gone to every length that we can, and it's frightening. It's really bothersome. And as we said before, is it going to take someone getting hit by a bullet for something to change? And I don't want that to happen. I know no one here wants that to happen. But that seems to be the mentality that we're taking is, wait and see. So I'm asking, I'm begging for something more to happen, for whatever the following steps that can happen. I mean, I don't know if we need to go a legal route to get something, a temporary stop of the shooting range until it is, I don't want to say state of the art, but something that's better than what it is right now. Because I know that they stopped for a little bit and they supposedly built up the berms even further, but it still isn't stopping. And every single bullet is a 9mm bullet that we're finding, except for one. There's one that was not a 9mm. Every single one is a 9mm. I don't know what they're doing when they get the bullets, if they're comparing them. There's testing that you can do to determine the rifling on it. When you get a gun, you get a bullet that's shot off, and one goes into a database. And I don't know why we're not taking that step to find out if it's the same bullet, even if it's from the same gun. If it is, it should be very easy to find the individual and stop them. So that's all I have here, and I just want something more to happen than what has happened over the past 5 months or 4. No.
Have you filed
4
any
months.
complaints with the Game Commission?
I don't know if
The
we have
State
exactly.
Game Commission.
I don't know if I don't know directly. There may have been. I know that there have been numerous neighbors that have reached out to any and everyone that they can. So I'm not saying that we have, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone already has.
Well, that,
Is that who we need to go through?
as many calls as it takes.
Okay, okay, because no one has directed us to just go there, because we've been kind of fumbling since the last thing.
Both.
Okay. All right, so the
I'm sure
Pennsylvania
our
Game
police are
Commission,
doing exactly what they can do.
okay.
I'm sure of that.
Then why are they not communicating to try, and I know that you're not representing the police, I'm just generalizing this. Why are we not going further to communicate?
To anyone on active investigations.
Okay, it was told to us that that there would be communication between the police and Triborough about when there is something that's found.
Between the president of Triborough, I don't know about the vice president. That may be true.
Okay,
I definitely know one of my detectives has been conversing back and forth repeatedly with the president.
okay,
So, but as far as the active investigation, no, we will never comment on that. We wouldn't be allowed to comment on it by the district attorney's office.
understandable.
But there is every, yeah, the number's a little off from what you got, but, yeah, they've been talking every call. He is in contact with the president of Triborough.
Okay,
Also how we get all the videos, how we identify the people, et cetera.
okay,
Okay?
all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And
Thank
I personally posted on your neighborhood group that you have,
Mhm.
that your next, or a suggestion would be to contact the state commission.
Okay, then I'm, like I said, I'm not sure if someone did, but I trust that someone has at this point. But I'll make sure that we have other people reach out, like you said, as many calls.
There's a governor's hotline.
A governor's hotline? All right, thank you.
Anyone else?
Hello, my name's Gino Mercadante. I live on 102 Frank Drive, right around the corner from him. And just as he said, we were told, and according as well as Chris, that there was going to be a weekly report between you guys and them. I believe, I forget who, was somebody on the panel on this side that
We asked
mentioned
about it.
that?
Yeah, we asked about a report coming in from the president or whoever represented.
And
Mr. Bodnar, I think, was here at the time.
And has that,
And that was, and again, it wouldn't be in my district, but I still, for the whole borough, I just wanted that report. And there for a while, it was coming in on a weekly basis. We were getting updates on things going on, but I don't know if it had continued. I do not know that.
and as he stated, and I understand that you're saying the number was off, but, I mean, alone, there was one house that had 3 since February. Another house that had 2 since February. I had 1. It's kind of impossible to hit my house, because I'm at 102. I'm at the top. The range is right behind me, okay? The actual, like, where you set up to go. The only way to do it is if you're shooting at something on the ground, or if you're shooting at something here, it would have to go over my house to get to my front yard. I reported this to the police. Again, this is another one that wasn't, according to Chris, because that's who we were told to reach out to. When Chris was here, Bottom was here, he's the one that said, if you have problems, reach out to me. That's when we were told that he was not getting any updates. Now, either the vice president or is not communicating with him, but that's what we were told. We were never told to call a commission. We were never told to call a governor hotline. It was call the police, they'll come out, they'll report it there, they'll send somebody over and find out through there. And as he said, there's ways to track these things down. It's impossible to not to. If I were to get shot tomorrow, you'd be able to track that down. Because you can go, you do ballistics or whatever it is that you do with the bullet. Like he said, we have about 10 or so 9mm bullets. Kind of hard to not determine where it's coming from right now. Now summer's rolling around. Kids are out to play. Everybody's out in pools. He mentioned the one neighbor. He has a pool in his backyard. He was one that got hit. Another neighbor has it. They have the kids there. There's one with 2 bullets there. It is right there. But to hit my house, you literally have to shoot straight up over the house, over up in the air to have it go this way. And that's what worries me, because now it's up by me. Eventually, it's going to trickle over this way, which is going to go over to the cul-de-sac side. To get there, you literally got to turn around and do it. So that's the thing. So it's getting to be out of hand now, because before it was just straight down. Now it's starting to go like this. All right. So that's all I have. And we'll do it. We'll have everybody do the commission and governor hotline now. We were never told that back in February. If we would have known that, we would have jumped on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Come up, sir.
Good evening, I'm sorry I was a little late. My name is
Can you
Brian.
talk
I
to
can.
the microphone?
How's that?
A little bit better.
Better? All right, my name is Brian Hamilton. I live at 108 Frank Drive.
Where?
108 Frank Drive,
Okay,
a couple doors down from this gentleman here. I don't know what was said prior to my arrival, as I was a little late, but I did find one at my neighbor, my connector's back patio. We have a patio underneath our deck. Called the police, they came out and they looked at it. If you were to draw a line from where that was found to the Triborough, it would go right over my pool. Temperature's warm, my children were swimming in the pool today. I think, as Gino said, there was probably 12 to 13 bullets that have been found since February in our neighborhood. My ask, no one wants to shut down the Triborough, no one wants to take anybody's guns. Would it be a possibility, maybe to just shut down the range for 1 month? 1 month. If anything happens inside of that month, then maybe we know. If there's people along the tracks that are shooting, then maybe we know then. Just 1 month. If there's no bullets, then we can start trying to dial in what is actually happening. A lot of us live along that track right there. So that was it. Again, I don't know what was said prior. I just wanted to say my piece. Thank you very much.
thank you, sir. Anyone else? Moving on to comments on the agenda. Resolution 725.
A resolution of the Borough of Northampton, County of Northampton, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, authorizing grant application livable landscapes. This resolution is an amended resolution for Resolution 625 from March 20th, 2025. This resolution, the updated one, correctly states that the borough will provide a match of $100,000 cash and in-kind services instead of previously $50,000.
What is the opinion of this council? Reference this resolution 725. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion to update this resolution by Ms. Haldeman,
Second.
second by Mr. Glassick. Any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead,
So
please.
can I have an update on what grant is
Yeah, this is
actually
the one for the 4th Street Playground.
for the Fourth Street?
Yeah, when I wrote it up, I put 50,000 because I thought it was 2 to 1, but it's 1 to 1.
Do we have funds for this?
Yeah, it also allows more in kind as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider appointment of animal control officer, resolution 825.
Yeah, this is Resolution 825. So a couple weeks ago, Jerry and I both interviewed 2 candidates for Borough's animal control officer. The resolution would be for the Borough of Northampton, County of Northampton, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, appointing Danielle Ford as the borough's animal control officer.
Do I have a motion to hire Ms. Ford?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Ms. Haldeman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Almond? Ms. Almond? Any questions?
Not a question. I see Danielle in the audience, so maybe she'd come up and introduce herself to us and tell us a little bit why she's interested in taking on this lovely and challenging position. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Danielle Ford. So I've been in the borough my entire life. My family owns Affordable Pet Center, so part of being in the borough was always getting calls no matter what about things that were going on with animals in the borough. My Grammy, Sue, used to be our animal control officer back in the day. Unfortunately, she passed of cancer. So when I heard the opportunity of it, it was something that was really near and dear to my heart. With knowing as much as I do, growing up on a farm, growing up in the borough, I kind of already knew the laws, I knew the rules. I really kept myself up to date on everything. So for me, it was something that just really hit home about wanting to do for our community. And because I'm so close in the community with my store and everything, I just feel like it was a really good opportunity for me. Thank you.
Thank you for stepping up. We need more
Thank
people in town like you.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Welcome to the borough workforce. Consider request Consider request to attend the bicycle mechanics course.
Chief Condingo is requesting that officers Brent Dannenhauer and John Shoemaker attend a bicycle mechanic program given by Volcanic Bicycle at Township Township Police Department in Culpsville, PA. The program will be held from July 28th to 31st, 2025, and will cost $950 per officer. $950, I should say. Not
I need a
$9.
motion to approve training for Officer Dannenhauer and Officer Shoemaker.
Motion.
Motion made by Mr. Donahue,
Second.
second by Mr. Knopf. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider request to attend Gracie Survival Tactics.
Chief Kadingo is requesting that Officer Evan Medlar attend a Level 1 certification course in Gracie Survival Tactics at Stroudsburg High School. The course will be held July 14th through the 18th, 2025, and will cost $1,500.
Do I have a motion to approve Officer Medlar's training?
I make
Pardon?
the motion to approve that.
Motion made by Ms. Almond, do I have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Knopf. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider the request to attend Munitions Recertification course.
Chief Kadingo is requesting that Officer Eric Schaefer attend a recertification course for Impact Munitions Instructor at Lehigh Township Police Station. The course will be held on September 10th, 2025, and will cost $350.
Need a motion to approve Officer Eric Schaefer's training for Impact Munitions Instructor.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Glassick, do I have a second?
Second.
By Ms. Almond. Questions?
Question, Chief, if this may be directed to the chief, are these through requirements of the law yearly that has to be done?
The two requests on the agenda for impact munitions are recertifications. They have been the less than lethal impact munitions instructors.
Okay. Is there grant money that's available out there, do you know, Pam, for any of these kind of classes? I know we have a lot of them, I know it's a requirement that we want to keep our officers up to date and things, but is there grant money out there?
I'm not aware of any. There are a lot of classes that are put on by the state, et cetera, that we don't have to pay for, other than the officers traveling back and forth. But I mean, some of the other stuff, it's like everything else, with tasers, et cetera, we're at the mercy of the company and the certifications.
And it changes
Councilman.
hourly.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman, I'd just like to add, I didn't have a chance to sit down and talk to the chief yet, but at our PSAB meeting, there was a very informative class on funding police initiatives. We have some new streams of information for grants, so as we sit down, we'll talk about those and use those as best we can for the borough.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, consider request to attend the Armorer's course.
Chief Kadingo is requesting that he and Officer Jeffrey Perry attend the Glock Pistol Armorer's course at the Allentown Police Academy. The course will be held on July 22nd, 2025, and will cost $300 per officer.
Do I have a motion to approve Chief Kadingo and Officer Perry for the Block Armorer's course? Motion made by Mr. Donahue,
Second.
second by Mr. Knopf. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, that was the armorers. Consider request to attend the munitions certification.
Chief Kadingo is requesting that Officer Jeffrey Perry attend a certification course for Impact Munitions instructor at Bethany Wesleyan Church in Cherryville, PA. The course will be held on September 10th, 2025, and will cost $350.
I need a motion for Officer Perry to attend
Motion?
munitions certification. Motion by Mr. Glassick,
Second.
by Ms. Allen. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider request of the County of Northampton.
Northampton County Parks and Recreation is requesting to use the band trailer on Monday, June 9th for their annual Lehigh River Sojourn event. They'll be charged $300 for the rental fee and $150 delivery and setup fee. They'll also be required to provide a certificate of insurance naming the borough as additionally insured.
I need a motion to honor this request. Motion made by Mr. Hall,
Second.
second by Ms. Haldeman. Questions?
Do they need the trailer?
Not that I'm aware of.
All those in
Lehigh
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider request of Covenant United Methodist Church of Moore Township.
Covenant United Methodist Church of Moore Township is requesting to use the band trailer on Sunday, August 10th for a church picnic and worship service. They'll be charged $300 for a rental fee and $150 delivery and setup fee. They'll also be required to provide a certificate of insurance naming the borough as additionally insured.
Do I have a motion to approve the usage of the band trailer?
Motion.
Motion made by Mr. Hall. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Donahue. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. We're moving on to reports from council members. We'll be starting with Mr. Hall, Administration and Finance.
Thank you. There were 130 live stream views of the May 15th council meeting. The Atlas Museum is in receipt of $200 check from Nancy Compass and Betty Shoemaker in honor of Ed Panny's 89th birthday. The letter from Nancy and Betty is included in your package along with a copy of the check. During the month of May, tours were conducted in the museum for 392 fifth grade students and teachers. The student teachers came from Siegfried, Governor George Wolf, and Lehigh Township and Moore Township Elementary Schools. And a report.
Thank you. Building, Land and Recreation. Ms. Haldeman.
Thank you. The Borough Pool, this is a change, let's note this. The Borough Pool will now be open on Wednesday, June 11th at noon. The pool will be open daily from noon to 7 p.m. The delay is caused by unexpected maintenance and repairs to a newly identified leak. The merry-go-round that was recently fixed at the Alliance Playground has been vandalized again. The piece of equipment has been taken down and will most likely not be replaced until next year. Due to increased vandalism at Borough Park bathrooms, we are regretfully closing all park bathrooms. We have at 3 p.m., but for the foreseeable future, however, they may not be opened at all, depending upon situations that may arise. Any park that has a rental will have the bathrooms stay open after 3 p.m. End of report.
Thank you. Code and Police, Mr. Donahue.
Thank you. The borough has received $1,686.88 from the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for state police fines and penalties. The Planning Commission will meet on Wednesday, June 11th at 7 p.m. with 2 items on the agenda. The first will be a continuation on May's meeting with environmental planning and design. The second will be regarding the lot on Hill Drive directly behind Redner's Warehouse Market. Cityline Auto Sales LLC will be looking for preliminary and final plan approval for developing a used car dealership with a small office and vehicular service building on the lot. The code enforcement report and income report for May is enclosed in your packet. They are at 96.64% compliance with registrations and inspections for the month of May. Enclosed in your packet is the zoning report for permits and inspections during May. End of report.
Thank you. Fire and Health, Mrs. Allen.
Thank you. The borough is beyond pleased to report that the fire department was awarded $120,000 for the LSA Northampton and Lehigh County grant for their training facility. End of report.
Thank you. Public Works and Sewer, Mr. Glassick.
Thank you. The relining of the sewer main project in the fourth ward is scheduled to start on Tuesday, June 3rd. This will be a year-long endeavor and will involve many road closures and detours during the time. Repairs on the stormwater box covering on 329 are progressing. Once we receive the concrete box from Monarch Precast, the project will officially be underway. The work will commence on the site. End of report.
Thank you. Reports from council members. Okay, it looks like we left some of it out. Okay. So we have no mayor report, we have no,
That's the second one.
I don't know, even for the individuals.
That's reports from
Oh, yeah,
We're
it's
missing the
missed.
committee.
It's missed.
Yeah,
It was missed.
yeah.
Okay. Not an issue. We'll start with Mr. Hall.
Thank you. I really don't have much other than, the raceway. I know this is continual. I told, Chief Kadingo the other week, I come home from work, was still in the vehicle with closed windows. I could hear yelling and screaming half a block up. And they were swearing up and down. They were really, only because somebody was trying to back into their parking space, one of the ones that has parking spaces along that run. I called and let him know, and he said he was gonna try to get somebody up there in the area and watch it again, which they have, but it's just a continual, we don't know how to stop it, but it's just, and the car was a Jersey car, it wasn't even some, because I spoke with a gentleman, I said, you're driving through here, you're yelling at one of the residents trying to park in their parking space. And he had nothing to say to that. I said, the road is out there. You're going through an alleyway. And just really didn't just shut me off and curse me up and down and whatever. And likewise told him, told her to get out of the way, and then she did. And then she called, because she yelled, something has to be done here, and it's one of my neighbors I know for years. But then she called to my wife and apologized for inadvertently yelling at me in addition to, trying to, but we did get it opened up, and I called him right away, and he said, he'd get on it, but we just gotta do something. I mean, I'm out of ideas, and other than, and you can't have a cop up there 24/7. I understand that. But that particular block, and it's the gentleman who put the speed block up here in that block, they just really fly through there, let alone a half a block down. And I get it there too, and they don't stop at the stop sign. But with the children and stuff being up there, it's an accident waiting to happen. It really is. So that's all I got. I know it's a repetitive report, but somebody else has some other solution. I don't know what to say to do.
Thank you.
End of report.
Ms. Haldeman?
I think my comments tonight are really related to what I just read. First and foremost, I want to give kudos to our Public Works that I'm sure are scrambling to fix the pool and get it open. And, since we are one of the fortunate communities that still have a pretty nice pool in our community, that we keep together with duct tape and some wire some days, I think, but, we keep it going and it is used. Maybe the population's altered over the years, but there are still people there. My niece and nephew today just talked about when are we going to the big pool. So, I appreciate that and hope that all the staff that we have are appreciated, and the behavior is good this year. And then the next part of it is just the disappointment of again reading about vandalism and knowing that there are going to be people that I'm sure will have comments on social media about the disappointments here in town. And then unfortunately, I will choose my words carefully, but will still continue to say I'm very disappointed, I'm very sad. And that you're talking about a lot of taxpayers' money to keep playgrounds going for everybody's enjoyment and benefit, but yet they're being destroyed by I don't know who in town. I am sure the police who are stretched everywhere, as we can hear tonight with all the concerns that we have, but they try to address that too. I've been around and seen the bike officers go through, but you can't always be at the right place at the right time. And so, you know, if that's the next things that we have to do is, you know, start to not put money into our playground, so there's no place for kids to go, then so be it. How much money must we continue to spend? I mean, we put, what, $7,000 twice into equipment right here at Municipal Park. Now you're talking about forestry. We have an organization that wants to give us this beautiful park that's not just for our town, but for anybody to come and use, for children of all abilities. For what? For somebody to come and ruin it again? And we're fundraising and struggling to find the right ways to help people? I mean, this is just disappointing. This is not the town that, you know, can hold their heads high when it comes to children's good behavior, or adults. I don't know. I don't want to make any accusations. I want to believe that the youth in our town are good people. We have Mason here, who's an absolute gem of a young man, you know, leaving our community to go to college, and there's more like him, I'm sure. But, you know, this is disheartening. So I hope people that are listening hear me on my soapbox and take a chance to speak to their children about respect for property. Respect for other people's property. And, you know, I also commend Kenny, or Mr. Hall, for his comments, because I was down in that area and visiting a friend last night and watching some young kids and kind of chuckling myself, because it was the first day of summer vacation and riding their bikes too late in the evening, and at that, an alley or two probably up from where you're talking about now. And again, no one here wants to see anyone harmed, and so, you know, watching when you drive, stopping at stop signs, you know, the typical things that we all used to do. So, you know, please, let's be aware of ourselves as residents in this community and treat our town with the respect that it deserves. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Canal?
Well, first of all, congratulations, Mrs. Ford, on your new hire. And as there are tri-borough problems, I think we were getting reports from them bi-weekly, I'd say. I haven't seen them up here lately. Maybe we could get in contact with the president and vice president and let them come here and speak on their behalf and their safety that they're trying to prove there. I know they're building the berms up, and possibility, maybe it's not coming from Triborough. Maybe it's coming from Smeton. Bullets travel a long way, velocity. Other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Glassick?
There's a lot of things going on here. Again, I'm very sorry to hear about the Triborough situation. I couldn't imagine living in that area, having children play, having grandchildren, and to have that situation. I do hope, and I do feel that the Bodner presidency there, or the organization there, does take this serious. I do believe that true-heartedly. I think we just need to make sure we get update where we are. Again, understanding that there's rules that the police chief has said we can't go through active investigations and give that information out, but as long as there's things getting done. But I do feel, as a resident, a taxpayer, you do need to have some kind of outcome and understand what's being done, because you have that right. Thank you again, Daniel Ford, for stepping up. I think it's an outstanding situation that you're in, and thank you for stepping up. We need more people like you in the borough and doing that. As Ms. Haldeman said, it is just disheartening. I'm seriously driving behind the force with her and other people to get the 4th Street playground for an all-inclusive playground, and then we have this kind of stuff happening. We do have a crime watch in our town. I think more people need to step up and say, when you see things, you need to step up and call. You need to be a person that's gonna make a difference and say, I'm not gonna maybe get involved personally, but I wanna make sure I can call somebody and get things done. Come to the crime watch. I know the police detective that runs that is always sending out reminders to have it. We have it at the rec center, I think, we have some other places, but we gotta get more involved. I think our town needs to come back to being more involved. Ms. Gross with the landlord, I'm a landlord and I understand the same situation when people live aside of those people. For some reason, they think just because they own their house that they have the right to the whole street. We need to make sure that people are treated fairly and respectfully. So we hopefully will look into that in your situation, especially those poles so nobody gets hurt, because I know people want to mark their territory, if you want to say. It's just a shame to hear these kind of things going on in the start of summer. The cars are going fast through the streets again. Motorbikes are on the sidewalks. These scooters are on the sidewalks. I seen them going across the bridge from Northampton to Copley, doing a wheelie the length of the bridge on the sidewalk. If that motorcycle would have flew out into the street where a car's coming towards them, I couldn't imagine what would have happened. But these are the kind of things that are happening, and again, it's not just in Northampton, it's not just in Copley, it's in our society. It's terrible. I just hope that we can get a borough together and start stepping up and calling the right situations and stepping forward like Ms. Ford did for the animal control thing. So with that being said, a couple other things that I have, maybe more for the borough manager. Where are we at with the street paving? Because our streets seem like, I know they were out patching, but that's like putting a
We have a
Band-Aid.
meeting with a possible company tomorrow about Barrington.
Okay.
So that's our main one right now.
As I said, Atlas, I know the Public Works were out there trying to patch stuff in the weather with rain and stuff, and they were still doing it some days.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like it was cooperating. But hopefully we can get that. Do we have any status on a street cleaner for renting something? People are asking me about it, and I told them what the cost of it is.
Renting it is not gonna, it's not
Okay.
gonna be in the end the best choice.
Okay.
It's just so expensive. We're looking at different avenues, we're talking to different places about cost and.
Okay. Mr. Tepes asked me about the refund check for the thing that was sent. Did you ever?
Yeah, we
Look into Mr.
We hand-delivered that check. Jeff Brandt hand-delivered that check to Allen Township. I don't even remember the exact date of it, but it
Can
was a
you
few months
send him
ago.
an update on that?
Yeah, Judy
I did
actually
speak
spoke with
with
him on
him
the phone.
today.
Yeah.
Thank you, because again, if somebody else is not following through, we shouldn't be taking the burden of
No.
getting questioned on it.
No.
Thank you for that. Where is the status for the movies in the park? And I'm sorry
Going
being
through, we're at the point of just, well, we'll kind of report on that with band shell issues. But,
Okay.
we're just, at this point, just waiting for the concession stand and then just setting up equipment.
And we have a lot of things going on, but we're still trying to be positive and moving
Mhm.
forward with good
Yep.
things and stuff like that for our community residents and things. Has there been any plans for trash removal negotiations starting?
Yes, that will go out for bid probably at the end of the summer.
Can
Probably sometime
Can I
in
be involved a little bit in that negotiations with them and stuff?
Absolutely,
Okay, thank you. There's a stop sign on Clear View over here on the corner, right by the fire department.
Mhm.
It just seems like it's hanging there.
Okay.
Twisted a little bit, maybe they can look at that.
Will
It
do.
is across the street from Public Works, so they should see that.
Should be eating a walkover.
You know. Again, sorry to be just running through all these.
No, that's fine.
I just think that we do need to step up as our community, come to the crime watch. Do we not have cameras at these parks?
Oh, we
I
do.
thought we talked about.
Oh, we do.
And are they being monitored and stuff? Good, good. I just hope we don't just hand slap somebody on the hands and say, here's a little, warning or something like that. We need to step up and make sure people are getting to the fullest of our intent. And maybe the solicitor doesn't like us saying that kind of stuff, but we really need to go after these to the fullest extent. I know there's a new rule, a law coming out, I just read about it, with people on their phones in their cars. But it's for a whole year, we're gonna just give them a warning. You can't write a ticket for a whole year, we're just gonna warn them, but when you see people sitting at the light and sitting in their phone, in their cars, on their phones, we just need to understand that there's things throughout our society that's just really disheartening. So, sorry to be a downer on this, but let's move forward and see what we can find the good and the things in society. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Mr. Donahue?
Thank you. Mr. Welsko, I have one request and only one. 10th Street from the underpass to Main Street. We have time. He has Public Works go out there and fill in a few potholes.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all for my report then. Thank you.
Hassan?
Thank you. So I brought this topic up before, but I need to follow up on the pedestrian crosswalk at 19th and Main. I understand the hole has been dug for a long time and just waiting for that blinking light to be put in.
Okay. 19th and Main?
Yes. It would be the west side of Main Street by St. Lutheran Church. And I received a call, this goes in hand with the potholes. I received a call from a resident on the 2960 block of Center Road. She said there are many potholes on that road. She said that 2 were filled last week, but whatever material they used to fill it has either washed or worn away already, and the other 3 were not even touched. And they are very deep, she said. So being part of a huge military family, the memorial service has always been near and dear to my heart. I've been attending the annual service over here at the memorial plot at Dewey and Washington Avenue for 40+ years with never an issue until last Monday. A neighbor chose to use his power tools during the service, which outweighed the microphones. Mr. Mayor, you were the first speaker. I didn't hear, and I was standing in the middle of that plot. So I know anybody along 14th Street did not hear the whole service, because I want to thank 2 gentlemen, Greg and John, for asking the neighbor to refrain from using his tools until the end of the service. But even after that tool distraction was resolved, the microphone, the sound service was terrible. You couldn't hear. So I'm asking, is there anything we can do to check into a better sound system for next year? Or as I understand, we're not in charge of the sound
No,
system.
it's
Can
not
we
our
check
sound
with the
system.
people who provide it and let them know
Yeah,
it's
we can
not
let
working?
them know.
And also related to the memorial service, I could not find the notation about the memorial service on that day on the website or on the My Northampton app. So can we add that for future
Yep.
services? Thank you. And I just want to say I was thankful that I was able to attend the PSABs again this year. There's a lot of useful information at both the state and federal levels that we can bring home to our community here to strive and deliver quality leadership and service to our citizens. And I want to thank you gentlemen for coming out and voicing your concern again and keeping us updated on this as well. I want to see a resolution to this just as well as you do, sooner rather than later, before somebody does get seriously hurt. And thank you, Ms. Ford, for stepping up and taking this position for us. End of my report.
Thank you. Mason?
Just like to welcome everyone to the borough. Congratulations. Other than that, I'd just like to say attending Cars on the Canal is very well attended. A lot of people coming out there, a lot of community. It's good to see community getting together over the summer. Other than that, that's all.
Thank you. One of the things I wanted to bring up tonight, but you guys came in and I said, the heck with what I had, this is really important. I've watched this since 2016, and honestly, people get sidetracked, we move on. I like roundtable discussions in a back room, where you would have representatives from your area, your neighborhood, maybe 2. Would be the speaker, the borough officials, and the police department, and tri-borough. That you come together as a round table. And now, if you do that, say on a monthly or bi-weekly, however, maybe you get something accomplished. But you can never expect, I've been involved with law enforcement over 50 years, you cannot expect them to give you an investigation that's current. You can't, okay? But there are issues we can work out. I've seen that happen. Mr. Donahue was on a round table back in what, 2018. It worked, and we can do that again. So that's something I'd like to get coordinated as president of this council. Let's work on it as a team. The Game Commission does oversee gun ranges. And You can call them, there has been other, okay.
I was just gonna say, do they cover private gun ranges?
That's what you're
That's
gonna
the-
call
that's
and
the
find
question.
out and
Okay.
bring to the round table. Okay? It's just like Mr. Knopf said up here, you really don't know where those bullets are coming from.
Agreed.
And there's no such thing as fingerprinting a bullet. That's only on discovery ID and forensic files. In reality, I've been asked, can you fingerprint a clothesline? No. Okay? Bullets can be compared. But that's far into the investigation. But we need to do something. We need to come together as a community and work this out. Talking about vandalisms in the park, we've had some issues with the skate park. I'd like to start working on that and seeing how we can coordinate, either do away with it or learn how to manage it. I'm understanding that people are going there, making their own ramps, building their own skate park. At what point is the borough liable? It's not maintained by the borough. So people are doing it on their own. Once again, is that a liability? Question for the solicitor. However, we need to work on our parks. The skate park, I truly am not for that and have not been for that since 2016 because of the liability. It was never an ordained park. However, we do have insurance, thank God. But let's do something with that. Do the police, get together with the police, borough officials, what are we gonna do with the skate park? And like Ms. Haldeman, here we had people working to make that 4th Street playground good for children who couldn't play at a regular playground. And people went in and destroyed it. But that is society. We can't fix it. We can't fix that. You know, so there are issues here. And let's start working on them together as a team. Team playing is a lot better than trying to do things on our own. Thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. To the Jeffrey Street people and to the vandalism point, I just wanted you to know that although it doesn't look like anything's happening, I can assure you the police are doing everything they can with their time and their power to investigate everything and bring a cohesive case together as necessary. To Councilwoman Haldeman and Councilman Glassick's comments about the vandalism, I couldn't agree more. It is very frustrating for our police force also, especially those on the bike patrol who are really keen to these things to look out for signs of impending vandalism or people who are vandalizing and hanging out the parks too long. They are frustrated too to take care of these situations and keep our playgrounds safe. We're going to keep moving forward as fiscally as possible, as Councilwoman Haldeman lamented, though, and I agree with her. How much can we do if it's going to continue to be 2 steps forward, 3 steps back with this vandalism? So, to the point of Crime Watch, please do keep your eyes open and be a part of the team that's looking to end this vandalism and get this town back in shape where we know we can be as cohesive as we've been through all these events and all our playgrounds, streets, and parks throughout our history. So please just keep that in mind and keep your eyes open and let's get this taken care of. I was happy to be with 6 other members up here on the dais at our Pennsylvania State Association of Borough meeting out in Hershey. It is the premier conference for boroughs across the state of Pennsylvania. It is a world-class meeting, and between rekindling all my relationships with my mayor friends and council people across the state at the meeting and making a handful of new best friends, the education and information that I brought back, and I'm sure our council people brought back, our borough manager and assistant borough manager, are there to make this town better. When we think you know everything or are up to date with everything, you're not, because an organization like this keeps us informed and affirming our role as borough officials and how we can best serve our citizens. So I'm very thankful for the time at that meeting and to be a part of the legislative process in moving our boroughs forward, and especially the Northampton Borough of Pennsylvania. And Mason, sorry to see you passed and won't be having us coming back next year. I mean, a little tongue-in-cheek. No, you're gonna do great. Congratulations. Gonna miss you, and what, one more meeting left, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Never thought that would come to that day, but here we are. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Attorney Stewart.
I wanted to congratulate Ms. Ford and welcome you. And I also wanted to address the discussions around the vandalism of the parks. Property crimes are very serious. Whether it be institutional vandalism, criminal mischief, the destruction of property, you can be charged with a felony. You destroy a piece of playground equipment, if that playground equipment costs more than $5,000, you'll be charged with a felony. So I just wanted to make it clear, if thus there be any suggestion that I think it should be treated lightly, I do not. And it is dictated by our criminal code, the penalties are dictated, is very, very serious. Thank you.
That's it.
That's it.
We're gonna slap them, aren't we?
You know, the law states what the law states with regard to penalties, and
Yes.
penalties can be very significant.
That is correct.
That is my point. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we have an announcement, starting with Mr. Sanchez.
First, Danielle, congratulations. Welcome aboard. Thank you for taking this sometimes thankless position. And we like me, I know Brian and I both look forward to working together, cooperation between animal control officer, the office here, code enforcement, even the police can trying to keep that animal control stuff under control. Second, I think we somehow missed maybe, I think Paw Prince is on this Sunday as a reminder. It benefits the canine police for the borough. So this Sunday down at Canal Street, I'm not sure the times. I want to say like 11 to 4, 11 to 5.
4 is correct.
11 to 4. So I just want to have that reminder out there as well. I know next Wednesday, June 11th, is the Planning Commission meeting. There's 2 agenda items. The first one's going to be the continuation of the River Central meeting. Very important stuff. If anybody can kind of make that meeting again to get some more information on that new proposed zoning ordinance, which we are hoping to get into effect sometime this summer, later this summer. I would probably say the latest, maybe the fall, I think, is what we were talking, for the approval of the zoning. Yes. And lastly, the pool. Yeah, it's unfortunate how we were trying to get open this Saturday. At this point, I am fully confident that this Wednesday will be good. This weekend wasn't looking very good weather-wise anyway, so we don't know how crowded the pool will get, even though there's some people that come out there, even when it's 50 degrees, I'll be in that water swimming. I don't know how they do it, but when you're 15, 16 years old, you can do that stuff. Not anymore, though. And I think that's it. That's all I got.
That it?
Yep.
Mr. Welsco.
Yeah, a few things. Yeah, I want to give credit to all the public works guys for all the work that they put in. We really thought we were going to make it. And then this morning with the leak, it's just last minute. Danielle, congratulations. Definitely deserved and well earned. I do have some stuff for you if you want to stick around a couple minutes after the meeting. Got news today from Rich that our loader is broken down and is in need of repair. It's 15 years old, somewhere between 10
More than that.
Well, that's what, yeah, at least 15. So he's saying it's probably somewhere between 10 and 20,000 to fix. So we're not sure if it's worth fixing at this point. So there's that. We did start yesterday. The company is in as part of that grant, the H2O grant with 4th Street relining. They are sewer flushing. With that being said, if anyone, hopefully we have had a couple instances already, if you do experience any backflow in your house, please let us know right away because the company will remedy the situation. They already had to go into one home today. fix the problem. It was not a very small problem. It was quite, as I was described, as an eruption and from multiple different places. So please, just if you live in the Fourth Ward, it was Railroad Street mostly the last couple days, so just kind of keep that. Please pay attention that if anything happens, and whether it be minor or major, please let us know. We're keeping a list. It's been 2 properties so far, so please let us know. Kind of going along, I kind of off my memory, and we're in June 5th. That's it. Bathrooms have only been open for 2 months. We're talking 4th Street bathroom was vandalized, municipal bathroom was vandalized, canal bathroom twice, Alliance playground twice, and the band shell just this week alone was $500 worth of damage. So we're talking multiple thousands of dollars worth of damage. We can't sustain that alone just because we're spending time just repairing it every day. I mean, we were gone at the conference earlier this week, and I got the report of municipal bathroom and the band shell alone.
And not even just the parts to replace those, but
Yeah,
the manpower it
the
takes
labor.
to do that.
Yep. So it's a lot.
Do you want to ask the chief for an update on the police reviews and that?
Yeah, I've kind of been in touch with them too.
Okay.
Officer Perry has been very big on it and really looking into it, and we've been kind of going back and forth with a lot of things. So he's been very good at keeping us apprised. Judy was there the one day, he was kind of talking to us about it. So they've been very diligent. The cameras have come in very, very nicely so far, and I'll kind of leave it at that.
You want to comment, chief?
Yeah, it's slow going, but the cameras were a worthwhile investment. Not a catch-all for everything, but they have helped for arrests. So thank you.
With that being said, Rich and I have been having, unfortunately, daily discussions about the bathrooms. And last week, when I wrote this, it was 3 o'clock is what we came to because most of the time they were happening in the evening. This week they happened during the day. So even cutting it off at 3 p.m., it doesn't seem to be. So we don't have the manpower, the money, nor the time to even keep our own bathrooms open to the public. Just because it is graffiti, ripping off toilet paper dispensers, ripping off soap dispensers, shoving them in the toilets. We had someone take the fill hose in the Canal Street bathroom and leave it on the floor, so there was just inches of water in the Canal Street bathroom. And it's eventually gonna be catastrophic at some point, and it's just not sustainable at this point. And I feel bad for the people that you just wanna go to the park or go to a playground with your kids and you have to go to the bathroom. And you're not gonna be able to do that because of, unfortunately, people spoiling for you. And I do apologize to the people, because I know some people have already talked with Rich when he's closing stuff down, being upset that we're closing the bathrooms, but we unfortunately have no other remedy at this time. I'm open to any suggestions that we can come up with, but the only real remedy right now is to close them down, to just hope. I hope that doesn't cause people to go to other places, because we were even talking today that we've had put up caution signs because we painted tables and people immediately went and sat on the tables.
Can I just ask, if we have cameras, are we not catching the people who are responsible?
It's kind of what Brian's alluding to.
Oh.
We are. It's just not everything is catchable.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Can't put it in the bathrooms.
Yeah.
No, I know that.
So, I do apologize that this is the avenue we had to take, but it's really the only avenue to actually save whatever infrastructure we kind of have and to save our money at this time. My hope is that things will, I mean, as you saw in the report, last year and kind of going in this year in the Alliance Playground, we fixed up a merry-go-round that was vandalized and broken. And we repainted it, fixed it up, and 2 weeks later it was broken again. And at that point, what's the point of fixing it if it's just gonna keep re-breaking? So I'll kind of keep updates. My hope is that this doesn't cause to go to other places where vandalism is gonna occur. But it's just disheartening and disappointing that we have to take this away from people, 99% of the people in the town. Like I said, I'll keep everyone updated and as Rich and I come up with solutions on trying to figure stuff out.
Maybe hire like a part-time person just for parks to monitor during the summer?
Yeah, it'd be a lot, because you're looking at that point, we keep bathrooms open like 6 to 10. It's 16 hours, 5 bathrooms. It's a lot.
And again, situationally, you'd have to be at the right place at the right time.
Right, yeah, and just hope.
Yeah, right.
Because they're all patrolled, it's
Right,
just that they kind of know patrol routes or the way things kind of go and where people are. And, I mean, when the one in Canal Street with the water, that was something that was probably done overnight at some point, because that's usually the one that's always kept open, and who knows how long that water's running for. And it's just kind of insurmountable at the moment, is what it is. It's really all I got, and good news, the conference, as the mayor said, was really well attended, it was really informational. I think we learned a lot of good information that we can kind of take back, and it's very applicable to what we're doing, kind of things that we can test out and try out. I did learn that, and it would have been interesting to happen today, that, for instance, with I know we had 5 different things on the agenda, Brian and I were talking about it today, for the police trainings, we learned that we can actually group certain like things together and just do it as one vote, so it would have been quite beneficial today, but we now know for the future. So if they want to wait, maybe do them all again in the future, we can test it out. But no, I'm happy to see, and I'm glad to see that they are very, like Councilman Glassick said, interested in going to classes and attending, and either recertifying or even going to new things and bettering themselves as officers.
Could I speak to that,
Yeah.
actually? So, say you have a number of requests from the police department, and they're listed separately on the agenda, and that's appropriate, because
Yeah.
there are different things, but there can be a motion made to consider, say, 7 through 11 as a group.
I like that.
Okay.
I have a
Save
question.
about 5 minutes on the meeting.
At least.
Mr. Manager, I have a question that I thought of when she said about the paving. Any word on the PennDOT paving of
Yes, so
Main Street?
from 21st to,
I know they said
Yeah.
spring, but
yeah, so
It is
they've kind of started to look at it, so what we have discovered is when they said they were gonna start, that meant they're gonna start preliminary work. So they're kind of going through testing different areas, patching different areas, and they're gonna do the full tear up and pave next spring.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now, so the rest of this is gonna be,
Which spring?
yeah, yeah.
Well, I think they said originally summer it was going to
Yeah.
be worked on, but
Yeah.
that was the preliminary work
work,
to
yeah.
get it ready to pave next year. I guess there's a lot of sidewalks, some concrete, curbing, things like that.
Yeah,
It's gotta
curbing,
be-
they're gonna do all the
Not even
preliminary
sidewalks.
work, so there might be some one-lane roads, some possibly road closures, some night work throughout the rest of the year. With that being said, I did notice yesterday that they have started to kind of shift to one-lane roads, or one lane open at a time off of the bridge, the Cementon Bridge. So they only have a certain period of time they can do it for, because it's typically probably gonna be at night, but just kind of keep that in mind with travel plans. That I imagine the Copley Bridge will get a lot more attention as well. With that being said, soon, once we get that culvert in from Monarch, that work is also gonna be done there. You just kind of notice that with traffic patterns and stuff too, especially if that is being done similarly could be at the same nights as stuff at the bridge is being done.
Let's keep our guys safe.
That's the plan, and so just know that there's gonna be a lot of things, and then with 4th Street, possible road closures with the relining project, there could be.
Fourth ward.
Fourth ward, that's what I meant. See?
You said that earlier too. I didn't want to correct you.
It's a test. You passed the second time. So just know that there's a possibility that there could be 3 sections of road closures at the same time.
Get out.
I mean, I would hopefully not, but it's possible. So just
Okay.
know that with travel plans and kind of the way things are going. As I get schedules from the different companies working in the 4th Ward, I will update people and post stuff on the website and the app, so that way people can kind of plan ahead.
And I believe most of that is going to be, it's not like it's UGI down there digging in every different spots. They're
Wow.
just in the areas, cammering, flushing, cleaning out the lines to reline it, so.
There might be some digging, we have found out
Eventually,
today.
there's going to be
There'll
some, but
digging,
not like
but,
that.
Yeah, just, and that's it, that's all I got.
That's it?
That's it.
Anymore?
No, nothing else, nothing in the 4th Ward or 4th Street.
Oh, that's really nice to let us know about those road closures,
Yeah,
okay? And,
I'll let you know once I know.
once you know,
Once I know, I'll let you know.
okay. Okay, I need a motion to pay the bills.
Motion made to pay bills.
Motion made by Ms. Armour,
Second.
second by Mr. Camino. Questions?
Yes.
You
A
go.
lot.
That was a lot.
Yeah, I almost ran out of a highlighter this time.
Oh
Uh-oh.
geez, that's not a good sign.
So,
I hope James is
but
watching.
you know, we talked about this before I start asking some of the questions, because it's close to my heart that we look at the finances on a regular basis, because you can hear the dollars that we spend in this town for basically keeping it running, and we have great people that are responsible for this kind of stuff, but, you know, we just have an extra set of eyes, and I think that it's important that the public knows what we're spending dollars on. So that's why when I bring this up, it's not to ask Brian to just give me some insight, or it's not to point the finger at anybody, it's just to say, what are we doing, why are we doing it? And is somebody taking a look because maybe we missed something and maybe we can save some money other ways? So, here we go. J-Dog Promotions, what was that?
The T-shirts for Public Works, summer people.
Okay. Keystone Municipal Workman's Comp was $28,000.
Yeah, it's an installment payment. That's
Is it
for our.
compared to last year? Do we have an update?
It's pretty similar. It's just for our workers' comp insurance.
Because I know the Water Authority gets a rebate when they don't
We
have
do.
anything.
Yeah, we do get a rebate. I forget how much it was,
Okay.
but yeah, usually near the end of the year.
And these are the kind of things that I just want to make sure that we're saying I'm up to date on that. I noticed like UniFirst, or is it UniFirst? UniFirst, Cintas, Northeast Janitorial, combined we spend about $5,000 it seems this last month on that kind of stuff. I mean, what are we spending on UniFirst?
So
right now?
UniFirst is all of the clothing uniforms for Public Works and Sewer.
Okay.
It's all their stuff, pants, shirts.
Okay.
The
Cintas?
Cintas is our AEDs in all the buildings and any type of supplies, medical supplies. One of them in there is because we reloaded the pool with all the supplies. For
Okay, that makes sense.
Did we get a new AED this year too, I think? Did we get?
We should be getting a new AED,
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was
as well.
part of it or not.
Now, the AED, did we not go to some like St. Luke's or Lehigh Valley and ask them about supplying us with any of that kind of stuff?
Well, they're monitored all the time by the company, so that's primarily the monthly
All
cost, is whenever they come in to check it once a month.
And Northeast Janitorial Supplies?
Supplies for this building in terms of for when Kristen does her cleaning. Also for any time Public Works needs any type of paper towels for the bathroom. Parks for the bathrooms, any type of paper towels for the rec center as well.
Okay. I know, being a daily rec center, I know they go through a lot of
Yeah.
paper towels there and stuff. I
He
can
usually
see
orders
that.
stuff from there maybe
Okay.
twice a month, yeah.
What's the Axon Enterprise check number 44850? Even had these check numbers now down pat.
Yeah, I know. Do you like the new format?
I do.
I do as well.
That's like taser maintenance.
Yeah, taser maintenance. That would be part of the yearly maintenance, right? Yeah, for the taser.
Oh, okay,
certification.
Axon. DMR Tools?
DMR tools, that is equipment for things like the mechanics tools for the year, different things down at the shop.
Because we send a lot of vehicles out to get serviced also, though. Do we
Correct.
not?
So this is just for tools for
Okay.
the garage.
What's Foley Incorporated?
That was repairs and materials for things for the bigger equipment.
Backhoe and
Backhoes,
our
yeah.
roller probably.
Mhm.
It's all through Foley.
That was just page one, so we have a couple more.
Oh, that's fine.
No, I'm good.
No.
I only have, my same one is Frazier, you know, I seen they'd have $1,500 maintenance.
That's the monthly, yeah.
Maintenance, $1,500?
Mhm.
Really?
Monthly upkeep, yep.
Okay, that's the end of mine, end of my questions.
Thank you.
Oh, maybe Ms. Haldeman has
You know
some.
what, well, we tend to think alike, but
That's scary.
we just have new office supply Primo brands and
So,
Quill were new ones for me.
Primo brand, so we used to do Ready Refresh for Nestle to provide the 5-gallon
Okay,
water.
okay.
They were bought,
Bought out, okay.
and now it's Primo.
Okay, and Quill?
Quill is just office supplies, the police often use them a lot
Okay,
for just incidentals.
Okay, I mean, we have again, it's interesting just to know $18,000 of PPNL is for this month, $18,000. For what? PPNL.
PPL, yeah.
A lot of that, let me find the actual.
I mean, it's more just a count me up PPNL, they just keep climbing. It's
I
not
mean,
it's not just us as residents.
It's not too bad until you get to that last one. And so that's just street lighting and.
Breaking things out with street lighting.
On a better note, the sludge was down quite a
Yes, it
bit
was,
because we didn't have
yes,
as much
yes.
rain.
So when the rain
So the
comes
sludge
back,
that we
we're
haul
gonna
away,
have
we didn't have to pay as much for.
electric and
Sunday
sludge,
morning.
two of our favorite topics.
No,
Bear
it
with
didn't
us.
affect the sludge.
Sludge. Who would have thought?
Stop.
It runs downhill.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yep.
Hey, you're doing a good job keeping it going. Running that
They are,
committee.
they are.
Mhm. Oh, the whole team, how's that? So I have a motion to pay the bills by Ms. Almond, second by Mr. Knopf. Any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You guys have it. I need an adjournment, motion to adjourn.
Motion.